All right, welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Shane Cram with Brandman Brandon down there, Brian the Grizzly over there, and we are going to talk about, I believe, the last two episodes of Gen V. I think we're a little bit behind, so we'll just talk about everything, up to this point. I believe Friday was episode 6.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the last one we saw. Yeah.
I just lost track. I see it and I'm like, watch. So we're gonna talk about that and any of the events that happened in the last episode 5, where it was the whole like forgetting who they or where they are and stuff like that. The whole memory loss.
All these huge gaps in their memory, which is crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of just talk about all that together. But
we should talk about 5 first, because I just have a question for you guys.
What you got?
Wouldn't the first person you think that did this to you, like everyone's powers, wouldn't Kate be the first person you think did something to you?
I mean, not
if I don't remember something.
On one hand, absolutely. On the the reasoning speaks for itself. Exactly what you just said, Brian. At the same time, when you're in like your circle of friends, it's kind of like, would she do that? Why would she do that?
She's the only one that has that power. Like literally, we've seen her do it to people, and then they're like, "Man, I don't remember the last 3 days." Like,
oh yeah. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, I feel kind of conflicted, because I thought this girl was my friend. Like I thought we were cool. So I kind of understand the the reluctance to want to believe something like that or even think about something like that. So I definitely understand both views for sure.
But I think that's why they also started showing other characters that could do that. Where you had the guy who was like R-wording a bunch of other students because he would use his like whatever brain, where you can like, I forgot what they did, but the one that she blew up his dick,
Yeah, but
so it was like there's those people on campus that can do that, that
no one
are assholes.
But that literally wiped people's mind. They all saw her wiping people's minds. Like they all experienced it. They all knew that she could do this.
I don't think they ever saw. When did they see her though? I'm trying to think. When did they see her wipe minds?
Like, even at the beginning, we saw when they were at. I thought we saw when they were at the club. Like she was like, "Oh, well, I'll take care of some of this stuff," and then that's when she shot. Like I thought that they all know that she could do this. That's her power. She manipulates people. They all know where everyone else's power is. So like, why wouldn't the first thing you think of in this effed up school, in this effed up situation, think, hey, maybe it's Kate? And then you're so surprised. Like they're all like, I'm so hurt.
Well, like you say, you never expect the phone call from coming inside kind of thing. It's like, I guess you don't expect your friend to do it. And they kind of set it up too, where she's like, oh, I don't do it unless you give me consent. And then she told Luke, she goes, where he's like, oh, make me. She goes, oh, I can't do that, and obviously she's lying, but
through her teeth.
Oh man, man. What's up, Dave Show? What's going on, Dave?
How
you doing? We're just talking about Gen V. Roofies, aka Roofies. Rufus and
aka Roofies.
Yeah. But I mean that's a good question. But I guess you just don't expect your friend to, especially for like somebody like Andre, like this is somebody like you love or think you love,
That should be the first person you think of, man. If I think someone's about suffocating me, my first thought is my wife, because she's the one who's closest to me.
Yeah, I was like, statistically, that's
just saying.
Yeah.
We found out how bogus Andre was in this episode, so
an episode. Well, if you say you want to talk about episode 5 a little bit, I don't think too much happens in episode 5, because I think episode 5 was a big setup for episode 6.
Yeah,
but they're just trying to figure out why are they forgetting all these things, and that was the only thing. Like that was kind of like what it was. So it was kind of like a like Scooby-Doo kind of episode of like who
done it,
who's the bad guy,
who done it.
Yeah, who done it. I don't think we get anything else too much, right?
So no one remembers except Sam.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Sam.
I think about episode 5 had one of the best killing scenes I've ever seen ever. Muppet Murder is
Oh,
one of the best things ever. Oh man, that was such an insane scene where, and it was so graphic. That had to be one of the most graphic things that the Boys universe has done. But it was Muppets, so it's kind of like, okay,
The Muppet stuff was just tripping me out.
It was, and then they kind of do it again in this episode, which
exactly, definitely do. That was weird. I was like, man,
yeah, Sam's messed up in that. But the murder stuff where he's just like ripping them apart, and there's just like red glitter flying everywhere, and oh man, I'm like laughing, and I was like, and when it's all done and it's back to the real world and you just see all the dead bodies. Or the one dude was like, don't do it. I have a kid and wife. And he just like rips him in half.
Yeah, he literally ripped him in half. And you see like his spine like hanging from his body.
Oh man, that was one of the coolest things. And I don't know how, the Boys universe keeps doing this. Like we're 6 episodes into this show and we're still getting surprised on how crazy and graphic some of these things are. It's just like,
but it's so much like college. Like it makes so much sense when you think about how college is.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. It's a little more extreme and kind of untethered than The Boys is, but it works. These are kids we're talking about. Even in college, we were all, well, in our own ways, we were like the same way.
I think some of these episodes remind me of college and football and things that happen outside of the locker room.
Yeah, all the trouble and antics I got into in college. So yeah, I could definitely relate.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing that when Andre and Kate wake up, from their nap or whatever, they're in like one of the houses and like everyone's having sex. So
yeah. And everyone thought that was just a Tuesday or more like a
Thursday. Oh man.
Thursday's before Friday because Friday no one has classes, so it's the first day of the weekend, Thursday. So that's why it's
Thursday. Yeah. Nice.
Look at Brandon. He knows.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm close enough to UIC. I know.
I'm talking about he knows because NASCAR and Purdue.
No, yeah. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else that happened in episode 5 because episode 5 was a good episode, but it wasn't great.
Besides really being more introduced to Sam, and the whole idea with Sam and Emma and all that stuff. That's and Sam trying to get Emma to know, to see herself differently. I think that was probably the only thing we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like, like the obligatory getting to that mid-season filler episode. I was fine with it though.
Yeah. Real quick before Dave Show said you guys were right about the Continental on Peacock.
I'm sorry, Dave.
I know. Yeah. I watched his review and I didn't get the chance to comment, but I know he didn't get to finish it. I think he said he turned it off before it ended. And the best part of the entire fucking show is like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the best part of it. You're like, oh, that explains everything. So yeah, check that out, at least Dave. So but appreciate that. Yeah, I'm like I watched it, I'm like, oh, we're not the only ones that hated it. So
that's funny.
Yeah. Could have been so much more.
It should
or just didn't need to happen,
Yeah. But I mean, you get good shows like Gen V where you're just stuck into it, and then you get stuff like that where you expect greatness and you get nothing. And this, I expected madness, and I'm getting so much more.
No, it's still madness. I mean, because like if we can fast forward to episode 6, I mean, when you really discuss what's going on in the woods, that's pretty interesting, and it has ramifications throughout the entire The Boys universe. Because if now that's a way to control Soups. If you now have a way to kill them.
if Butcher were to find this, man, he would like it. Like that's the first thing I thought about was Butcher. I was like, if Butcher knew about this, there would be nothing that can stop him from. He would kill everybody to get this, virus. I thought that was really interesting, and I didn't think they were going that way. I thought they were going to find a way to control them. Which I think that's what they were kind of going
that's
for.
What they're looking for. And we didn't know. And Deidre hates all soups, and she's like Butcher.
For this university.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I'm kind of curious. I never really cared for her too much. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But now I'm really interested in her character. In Shetty, they call her, which is her last name, Idra. Which is like the principal, not the principal.
She's like the dean.
Dean. Dean.
Yeah. I'm way more interested in her character, like a lot more. But yeah. What else went on?
So now, we got the whole Emma and Sam, hooking up, and we got the more puppet stuff. That puppet, I didn't know what they say about it. I looked at my wife and she was like, I guess people like puppets, man. It's just like
the Emma. I usually
hit the glass. I was like dying.
I usually watch the show by myself because Erica doesn't really want to watch it. It's like too much for her. But the other day I'm like, hey, you mind if I put it on? She was doing something on her phone. She was, yeah, whatever. And then they have this sex scene, and I was like, oh man, like I'm not like uncomfortable, but it's like the first time she's watching this, and they're having the sex scene, and then she turned into a puppet.
I
was like,
out of the blue.
And it was so funny, and it was like you said, the hand on the glass.
The hand on the glass. It got me. I was dying. Oh, you were so wrong in every way.
Yeah. I can bring that. Emma can ride. Yeah, that was really funny. That was really funny. Even later in the episode, when Emma and Sam go back to the group, and Jordan was like, "You have sex here." I don't. It's like,
what are you talking about?
Like, they don't even say hi or anything. He just like busts down the wall or whatever. They walk through the door or whatever they do, and that's the first thing Jordan says. It's like
it is funny, but what's also funny was the fact that you can control Sam at all. He threw all of them through walls, windows. It didn't matter. He was going to do whatever he wanted to do. There is no controlling him.
Yeah. There's so much. I wonder what they're gonna do with Sam and how powerful he is. And they even said it, Clancy Brown's character, even said like,
what were they doing to Sam?
Yeah.
What exactly power were they giving? Like, what?
I have a lot of questions about that.
Because him and his brother Luke, were really, really interesting. But Luke is obviously dead, But it makes you think: is like, are they actually messed up in the head, or did something in the woods give them? Was it their powers manifesting mess with their head, or what's going? Like, why? Especially Sam right now. Why is Sam so messed up in the head?
I mean, it seems like he's schizophrenic. It's also that he lost his brother, and his brother thought that he was dead the entire time.
Yeah. Also, it could be Kate. They kind of hinted at that. Kate just messed with their memories so
pushing
much.
Them so much.
Yeah.
That's ruining their minds.
Yeah. There's got to be like some consequences to what she does, So, yeah. But Sam is really interesting and how powerful he is. And Clancy Brown's character, who was like another big teacher that, that taught like
Bickerhoff, whatever, Professor Bickerhoff.
Yeah. He said like Luke and Sam have the same power set more or less, and he said Luke could rival Homelander, which was really interesting. So I was like, damn, like what is Sam gonna be? And I have some theories that I wonder if they could tie Sam into the boys later.
I think they're all going to be tied to the boys at the end of this.
I think so too.
We already got that cameo in this episode in Soldier Boy.
Great cameo, by the way.
Inside of Kate's mind.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles is just so entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
especially with his like delivery. It's just like that, like stereotypical, like bravado. You know, like it's great.
Every time I see him, he starts talking. I only see Dean.
I don't know. I mean, him throwing a lot of curse words and shit that kind of changes it up a little.
Oh, Dean was a demon. He became a demon. So yeah,
yeah. I don't know that I see Dean. Dean always came off like a decent enough dude.
He killed all type of people. He especially had the mark of Cain.
Yeah, but you know, like the Soldier Boy just comes off as that like stereotypical, you know, like stereotypical, you know, like beta or alpha male, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
It always bothers me every time I see him. I thought he was short. I always thought he was short.
Yeah.
And he's like 6'2".
Yeah. Short because the other dude was the guy who played Sam was pretty tall too.
He's like 6'5". Like, that's what it was.
See, Tony said I can see Jensen as Batman, 100%.
I've always thought he should be Batman.
Yeah, he
I'd
voiced
be
Batman.
good with it. I'd be good with it.
He did voice Batman, yeah.
In Longest Halloween or Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
Halloween. Yeah. But as Soldier Boy, and I also liked it where it is a cameo, but it kind of isn't, you know, because it's not the real Soldier Boy, which was good. So it's just her, which is awesome. Her imaginary friend, you know, that she and her slash boyfriend, Soldier Boy.
Boyfriend that taught her how to do stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, he goes into detail with that. So I like it. It is obviously the character, but it really wasn't him. So I appreciated that. So it didn't feel like it was too much. Like it felt like, yeah, of course, you know, like these young kids would idolize these superheroes, you know, and you know, as you get older, you start having different feelings and stuff. So yeah, it makes sense, you know, because that was one thing I think we were all worried about, where were they going to over cameo it too much? And
they don't have to. Yeah. They don't have to, because you know, this is a strong enough story. These are strong enough characters. You enjoy everyone, you know.
Yeah, and even if they didn't have the cameos, I'd be, you know, it would still work. This is solid enough to really kind of stand on its own and be in its own little corner. And for the most part, it is very much in its own little corner. The cameos have felt they've never felt forced or shoehorned or just there just for the sake of saying, hey, remember this is set in the boys universe.
It is. It's just understanding the setting.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there to, you know, kind of, you know, it's there to kind of remind you that they do kind of coexist in the same world. But
the cameos, the ramifications of things that are happening here are also going to deal with something you have to deal with in the boys. I think without seeing those characters, it's good to understand that. So now when the boys comes in and they are talking about this stuff, we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
they're doing it right.
I think so. Yeah, and they're doing it entertaining too, you know, because they could bring in this stuff and tell these stories that they need to expand the world for the boys' main show. But like this feels like it's its own thing, and this could, like, I don't know how long of a run it could have, but it definitely could merge together with the boys, you know. And if you ever read the comic book, like in the comic book, there's a lot of like smaller superhero groups. Some extremely stupid, like, oh my God, stupid.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many seasons they do, because I know obviously it just got renewed for the second season.
Yeah.
Which I think we all saw that coming.
Yeah, as popular as it is right now, and as I said, the storyline is so strong, you can definitely understand.
Yeah, it is the best thing on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh wait, hold your tongue, because I'm about to do a review.
Yeah.
Upload season 2, season 3.
Yeah, the show is freaking awesome. It is a really good companion show, I think, that is starting to become, if not already for me, already became its own show, you know, in this universe, you know, because at first I'm like, oh, it's a nice little side show that's gonna help the boys out. And now it's we're episode 6, and I'm really enjoying this as much as I did The Boys, especially the last season of The Boys. I think this is better than the last season, and I enjoyed the last season a lot.
I don't know. I think there's still more characters I liked in The Boys. I think that I've enjoyed the characters in The Boys a little bit longer right now, so it's harder for me to. I mean, it's cool. This is good. I don't know if it's still The Boys level yet, but the craziness is still up there.
Yeah,
because I think
the craziness is definitely still there.
The writing of The Boys and the character development. When we have 3 years of development, it's hard to match that.
Yeah,
but we're still getting a lot of character development and great writing in this, but it's just not enough to compare it to it yet. But it's getting up there. It's getting there.
Yeah. For me, I think it is. I think the writing is, because if you take away the powers, you take away the connection to it all. I think it's still a really interesting show. That's like just a lot of like fun and
it is. But I think The Boys is too, because I mean, when I think about
oh yeah,
when you start naming what are the top 5 characters from either show, all 5 of them are still in The Boys.
True. Yeah. I can't
So
argue
that tells me that
The
Boys is still up there, still
Yeah.
there. But this has some good ones that, as we grow, could get up there.
There you go. But yeah, thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time with some more Gen V stuff.
Okay. See you guys.
Wait.